Hello, friends. Nice to see you all here today. And yeah, great. I hope that you guys are having a nice evening or morning if you're in Australia. I know some of you are. Yeah, today we're having a live stream, but we're not doing the anything about the upcoming FMS car. So if you're here for that information, then that will probably be next week. But I'm only giving a rough guess. I have no idea when it's going to be out. But yeah, that one looks pretty exciting. I can probably tell you a little bit about it if you haven't seen the adverts already. But today's live stream is all about basically just catching up with you guys, just having a chat. We run our Facebook page and we run our Facebook community, and then on that page and also in other groups, we get a lot of questions about our products. And so today is a chance for us to just kind of catch up and for us to answer some of those questions that you had and just share kind of what you guys have been talking about and just having a chat really about anything that's come up that's interesting. So I've got a list on my computer of like just a bunch of stuff. And so we'll be going through that. We also have a giveaway today. We'll have 3 discount codes, $15 discount codes, which we'll be giving away later in the show. To join that, you're going to need to be subscribed to our channel so that you can write in the chat box. Okay, so today's live stream is all about just talking, interacting. So please make sure that you are subscribed so that you can chat, and that way you can write your comments in the chat box. People can see them and people can answer your questions and stuff like that. So do be active today. It will make the show more fun and more interesting. All right, I'm going to go through and say hello to everybody, and then I'll kind of introduce the show in a bit more detail. So we have RC Granny here today. Nice to see you. And she says, hope the stream goes as good as the test streams. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we have been testing because, we in the past couple of shows, we've had a couple of problems with the internet quality. So we've actually changed some of our internet service so that we can get clearer internet, and we've been testing the performance of different internet services basically, and we just left it on, so you probably saw just the background, and the test was mainly like how clear is the picture throughout the test period. Yeah, so I wasn't there. It might look a bit different now because sometimes the camera focuses on the front, but basically at least we can be sure that we're using as good an internet service as possible to get these live streams to you well. And RC Granny sent me her pictures this week of her. She has a really cool garden crawler course. She's obviously set it up herself and it looks fantastic. And I got those pictures. I just wanted to let you know. I was waiting for the live streams before I replied, but yeah, it looks awesome and yeah, good fun. Did you build that yourself, or is it something that you do with your family, or what? Let us know in the comments. And Bordeaux Rats here from Canada, I think. I'm pretty sure. When I saw the test, it was only a still image. Did you see any movement during the test? You guys are very curious. But yeah, Bordeaux Rat says, just for fun, I looked at their first live stream in the archives. Please don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. It's better that you guys don't see that. Tons of improvements since then. I'm not sure if I've improved, but at least we've improved our audio and picture, so that's something at least. But yeah, thank you. It is a bit of a journey that we've been on, since we first started. And you probably didn't see the ones that were on TikTok originally. So we first started our live streams on TikTok, and there are some of you still here who maybe saw those. I know Robert Wolf, who's sometimes here, was there in our first live streams on TikTok, and you guys are so patient. Yeah, you guys are great. I really appreciate your support, you guys. RC Granny, Bam Bam Pruitt, hello, and hello, Harry Hetzer. Are we going to have a real live show tonight, or is it going to be like last night? Yep, it's a real one. It's a real one. I'm not sure if it's a real show. I'm just going to be talking. So I hope you're not going to be disappointed. But yeah, thanks for joining in, and thanks for checking it out. Nice to see you here. And I'll just skip down a little bit. We have Remy Progs is here. Cody Pringle. Nice to see you guys. And Cedar Creek. Tracy Nana Shake Pruitt. David Coxis, William Hall, nice to see all you guys. Quinn's here, Craig Clymer, hello, and yeah, great. Do write your hellos and anything you want to say in the chat box, because that's what we're here for. So today we're going to start off with your hot takes, which means basically your interesting opinions that I've come across while looking at Facebook and maybe from talking to some of you as well on the phone. And yeah, just sharing some of your interesting opinions. And then you can also respond with what you think about that in the comments. Okay, then we're going to move on to some questions that have come up in community groups and things like that. And I'll be trying to answer some of those questions, or at least having a look at them. And you guys can do your part to answer those questions as well. When we reach, let's see, when we reach about 75 likes, then we'll do the giveaway. Okay, so please do click like if you haven't done already. All right, I will be looking for those early live streams later on. Please don't. At least, you'll probably see that I'm a bit thinner back then. Yeah, I might look a little bit better in those older live streams. All right, so I'm going to introduce some of your interesting hot takes. And I say they're hot takes, some of them, maybe hotter than others. But we're going to start off with brushless. So, recently we introduced a new brushless system, Petrezzi's brushless system, the Control Freak. And it's been pretty good going for those customers who have got that, as far as we can see. It's basically it's designed for the FCX24 and FCX18. And there's a whole system. At first, when we released it, it wasn't totally the whole package. So when people bought it, they found that the lights weren't functioning and things like that. But we've now revised that and improved that. So you can now buy it with a whole set of what you need for your car. So you can buy a set for your K5 or a set for your LC80 and things like that. Do bear in mind that the brushless system doesn't work with some of the cars, some of the FCX24 cars, basically because there's not a place to install it. You may be able to do DIY jobs on it, but it's not like totally perfect. So that's something just to consider. At the moment, we've got it for K5, LC80, and I believe the Power Wagon also has a way to set it up. For the Unimog, it's very tricky because of the design of the body. And what else? We haven't even tried it on the Lima, I don't think. The Lima, what else is there on the FCX24 platform? We haven't, it doesn't really work on the K10 or the Hummer, unfortunately, because of the body. Again, it's interference. So if you're willing to cut the body, or you can maybe find a different way to install the receiver, then you might be able to get it on. But it's not something that we can promise, and it's up to you guys who are great at finding solutions for things that you might be able to get it to work. Yeah, so just bear that in mind. But we had a vote recently, which was to see what you guys think about brushless motors. So for those of you who don't know a lot about brushless, as also me, I've quickly introduced that a brushed motor basically uses brushes to revolve, to turn around, and brushless uses magnets and so it's a much smoother process of spinning that motor around, and so it creates a different driving experience. And so we recently had a few mods that were brushless, and we had a vote. So the question was: is brushless the future for RC crawlers, for mini crawlers especially? Or is it just a nice option and you'd like to have both? Or was it just a fad that microcrawlers were keen on at the moment, but actually brushed is still the way to go? And we had a verdict on that. So the result of our vote was 55% of voters believe that brushless is the way to go in the future. And 45% believe that we need both options on the market, brushed and brushless. There'll always be a place for brushed, and brushless is also very nice to have. Nobody says that you don't know what the fuss is about and you don't like brushless at all. There's somebody in our company who's quite strongly against brushless motors and believes that brushed is definitely better, and they often say that brushed is cheaper and things like that. So there's no need to have brushless. But from what we've seen, there's been a huge improvement of brushless motors over the past few years. You know, Furitech did a great job of kind of bringing that to the YouTubers who are sharing that with a lot of people. So people became quite interested in brushless, and their brushless motors are quite advanced, where they use a lot of, you can adjust the settings and things like that using an app on your phone. So it's quite, it gives you a lot of control. Whereas the Bertrandsi Control Freak setup is more kind of just plug it in and get started, and there's not so many settings, although I've heard that more settings will be coming in the future. So we'll watch out for that. So what do you think about brushless? I'll read some of your comments first. I like both, and if brushless keeps getting cheaper, I'm all in for brushless. So this is one of the trends that's happening at the moment, is brushless is getting cheaper. So initially you'd need to spend about the same amount that you'd spend on a car to get the motor, you know, so it's like doubling your cost. But now it's getting cheaper and cheaper, and you're finding it more in ready to run cars. So, you know, we've had the K5 anniversary edition had the brushless motor installed already, and also Hobby Plus and Furitech, they're ready to run cars with brushless motors in them, so it's much more affordable. Brushless isn't the future, it's the now. Brushless, especially with FOC, is the only way to go with microcrawlers, says Dangerous Fat. Dangerous Fat. Kitchen Table RC says brushless is the RC version of electronic ignition and fuel injection. Brushed is the RC version of points ignition and carburetor. Yeah, I think one thing I've found with my own experience of brushless is with a brushed motor, you maybe feel it more. You feel the interaction a little bit more, and that doesn't mean it's better. It just means like, it's like with an old car that has its own personality, whereas like the brushed version kind of reminds me of the electronic cars that you get these days. They kind of just, they go so smoothly, you know, and sometimes too smoothly, they give you motion sickness. But yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of a comparison there anyway. And brushless is great, but cost is high. Better control with brushless. So this is my own experience of this is I was quite impressed with the brushless motor when it came out with the K5 anniversary edition. I was really impressed with how smooth it goes and how slow it goes. So one of the most fun things I did in these live streams, and this probably shows you how little fun there is in these live streams, but I really enjoyed it. It was getting a bunch of cars all lined up, and then I put the brushless motor on one end, and then just adjusted the transmitter so that it was going automatically. And then as I was talking to you guys, the car was ever so slowly just crawling over the line of cars by itself. And if you just look at it for a second, it looks like it's not moving at all. And it's amazing just to watch how slowly and how surely it just continues to go. And that was a lot of fun. And I don't know if I've had so much fun with an RC car just in the live streams. You know, normally you have to take them out to trail and so on, but that was fun. So what I'm going to do is quickly show you the two versions of the LCAT tricolor mod that we've got, as we have one that's brushed and one that's brushless. I'm just going to show you those to compare. Okay, so I'm not sure what I've got here. Just quickly check. So this one is this is the brushed version, and this will come with this is the brushless transmitter. So this will come with this one. This should be V5. The transmitter for brushed is V5, and the transmitter for brushless is V6. Let's just make sure I got the right ones. Okay, and these guys are the tricolor mod, if you haven't seen them before. There's two versions, version 1 and version 2. Version 2 is basically just a brushless upgrade, and the battery is located under the hood. So I'm going to plug that in. And I don't have my batteries for the transmitter. I'm going to have to exchange those. Oh yeah, it's easier just to poke it from underneath. All right, let's plug in the battery. Okay, and get some batteries. So we get some transmitters that have batteries inside. I can switch them over. Okay. So this one is the brushed version, and I'll show you that first, so that you can kind of see what it started off as, and then you can see how it changed later on. Okay, transmitter on first, and then yeah, you missed the show, but when you turn the power on, the lights at the front light up really nicely, just to let you know that it's on. And yeah, okay, so I just hold it for a second. So one of the key things with brushed is just sometimes, like especially when it's got a bit of traction, when you hold down your finger, it doesn't always move. It doesn't always move until you push it down a little bit further. So if you just lightly press it, which I'm doing here, but this one's doing it pretty good actually. It's geared pretty nicely. So one of the key things with brushed is it has to be geared really nicely to get that slow, smooth crawl. You can hear also the sound, right? The sound of the motor, that high-pitched noise. Pretty, battery coming out. Yeah, pretty loud, whereas the brushless motor will be a little bit quieter. Okay, so that's brushed. Sorry, you've got to make sure that you tuck the wires away. And yeah, and then you've got to strap the battery down properly. Otherwise, the hood keeps popping open. Okay, there we go. Okay, that should be all right now. Okay, and then we'll get this one started. So same thing. If you pop the hood from underneath, then it's much easier than trying to pick it open. Same battery inside, just different motor setup. So the motor also needs to have a different receiver, and the receiver needs to have a special mount. So it's not as simple as just changing over the motor. Let's put the batteries in here now. Okay. 4 AAA batteries for the transmitter. Okay, and turn it on. Okay, and I'll let you see the lights quickly. And I'll show you the lights because a lot of people wonder about whether the lights are functioning or not. So is that going to work? Did I turn it on? Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, now it's on the slow, and slow is actually much faster. There's a lot more pop. Now it's also, you can see it's moving by itself, and that's because the throttle trim is not set to neutral. So you can slow that down. And then when I lightly press the trigger, is it working? Oh yeah, okay. You can't hear that high-pitched noise anymore. It goes super slow. And are we on the right setting? Yeah. Yeah, that's high speed. And yeah, let's give it an obstacle. I'll give it the front of this car again, and give it something to drive over. So I'll show you the lights in just a minute. Now, you've got to watch out for the bumper. There we go. All right, I got it up. It's not the best obstacle in the world. But yeah, let's have a look at the lights, and you can see how to adjust the settings. So indicator is always on, always on, unfortunately. Okay. And okay. And then we switch it off. Now the brushless system that we've got for Brushless, that also comes now with the the Brushless, it also comes with the light controller. And so the light controller and the wires need to be a little bit different for each car. I think the light controller is the same, but you have different connections for different cars. So that's why you need to make sure that you get the brushless Control Freak setup with the car that you want it. So it should say for LC80 or for K5 or something like that. So just be aware of that. It's not the best demonstration I can do on the table. What we need is a real course, and and then you can really feel it. But the difference between the two is I feel this one's a lot smoother, and it doesn't give up, and it doesn't jump. It doesn't jump so much. I think that when Brushless first came out for microcrawlers, there was also a problem where you'd have it going very slow. But then as you kind of push down on the trigger, it would reach a certain point, and then it would suddenly go into like a faster motion, and you'd get that kind of jump, and it wasn't smooth control. But you don't get that anymore. It's very gradual all the way as you're pushing the trigger. So you get that really nice control of the brushless system. So for me, I think brushless is clearly a fun thing to have, and also gives you that control that you want as you're doing comp crawling and things like that. Whereas other people maybe like the brushed version. You can decide. Brushed will probably always be cheaper, I think. So yeah, it's nice to have a cheaper and more expensive option, so you can test things out and see what you like. I'm going to just put those away and just get those batteries out. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go to your comments and have a look, and yeah, and then we'll go on to the next point. All right. Brushless is really nice, but brushed with a good ESC can be almost as good. I'm a big fan of the ESCs in the FCX rigs. Absolutely, yeah. We always get very good feedback on the ESCs in FCX24s and FCX18s. Zoomad says brushed is like a small block, brushless like a big block. There is a major difference in torque. Absolutely. Launch it, Joe, says RC Granny. I did go as fast as I could for a split second there. Granny is still looking for the Send It ramp. Regarding the light kit for LC80, FCX18 you are selling, that is included? Yes. Wait. You mean, the picture shows all the LED light controller and RX. I doubt the receiver is included, but can you confirm? This is this is just for the light kit. Of course, in the brushless system set, it comes with a receiver. But for the light kit controller by itself, I'm not sure. Maybe we need to sell that separately, but thank you, it's a good point. And how long does it take to receive the custom flatbed order? So normally we have some already ready to go, and then it will be 10 to 15 days for shipping to America. But I'm not sure if we have them ready to go, because sometimes our mods need to be made to order. We'll find that out for you, and I'll give you an answer in just a second. Is the brushless version of this LC80 backed up with metal gears, like the 18th anniversary model? I believe in the LC80, all of the gears are metal, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the case. And I just did the same thing with my controller batteries, parked my winter rigs and got my summer rigs ready to go out crawling now that the weather is nice. That sounds awesome. The flatbed takes 2 weeks to ship out. Okay, so there's we need to make them especially to order. So it takes 2 weeks for that to come out, and then it's 8 to 12 days shipping, which is less days shipping than I thought, actually. That's pretty good. But yeah, you do need to wait for us to make those cars, unfortunately. So that's 2 weeks before we ship them. I purchased the Trans-C brushless motor and put it in the Smasher. I don't see any difference between slow control, and I also have no different speed between the crawl mode or the faster mode. That doesn't seem right to me. There should be a difference. If there's not, then send us a video. Yeah, we'd like to see it, because we don't actually recommend it for the Smasher anyway, but we'd like to see what you're doing, and if there's anything that's causing that problem, just send us a video and we'll check it for you. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next hot take. So one of the hot takes was, I'm going to show you the product first. For the FCX24M Land Rovers, we have a very cool set of wheels from Brushless, which are painted yellow, which are perfectly, matching the camel trophy color. And I'll show you these first. So we have two different versions. One is a 0.8 and one is 0.9. This size wheel really helps you to have a scale-looking wheel, because sometimes people love to have these, big 1.0s with these tiny carts, but they look a bit funny, and so some people would like to have more kind of standard size. And so this one is the, I think it's Star Road. I think it's called Star Road wheel. I'll show you this just now. So you can see it's painted yellow, and the back is also yellow. And these are aluminium wheels. They come with brass wheel weights as well. And there's also another set, which is 4-slot wheels. 4-slot, which you can see here. So they're really nicely designed, very old school kind of wheels that you would get with the Land Rover. What's that? It's my car. Make sure you remember to turn your stuff off when you finish with it, and unplug the battery. Okay, so we have these really nice wheels with brass wheel weights, and they are $29.99, the painted versions. And yeah, somebody has painted so you can see here they have little fake wheel nuts inside. And somebody has painted them chrome. And also the central part was painted chrome, and it looks fantastic. And the back side of it, they also painted a dark silver color. And so you can see that much more, and it looks much more realistic from the other side. And so when we saw that, we thought, oh, we should do that. And so we looked into it, and obviously the problem is that these are not real nuts, so we can't just get chrome nuts. It's a painted thing, and it will be very hard for us to paint the chrome section here, paint those small nuts chrome. But that's something that you could definitely do, and it looks fantastic if you do that. And then this part, we could definitely change this to dark silver to maybe look more realistic and add a little bit more contrast through the holes. What do you guys think? Would you like us to make this part dark silver? And what do you think about painting these chrome? Is that something that you would like to do yourself? And what have you been doing with these wheels? Let us know. We can go back a little bit. Hello. Thank you. All right, let's get your feedback on that. Okay, I don't see many. Only thing we can agree on is Farazi and Joe is awesome. Thank you very much. That's nice of you. But yeah, lots of opinions, and it's great to have. That's one reason why we're here, is so we can learn from each other and share our thoughts, share what we've been doing with each other. So yeah, let me know what you think about these wheels and what you'd like to do with them, or what colors you'd like us to make for these guys. Yeah, that's an interesting hot take. Another one. Okay, so we have our limited edition flatbed mod. This one is no longer for sale. This is it was limited edition. There were only 199 made, and so if you haven't got one, unfortunately, you need to get a second-hand one because we're no longer selling them. So these are really nice rigs. It actually the limited edition comes with a CNC front grille, which you can buy separately. It's a little bit pricey because it's a single piece. And so single piece metal CNC'd in this way is quite expensive. But yeah, we have this part, and this part just goes on over the lights and looks very cool. Gives you something different to paint, and it's much more durable. For the people who would like to get something like this, the ones we do have available, there's one that's white and there's one that's black. They both come with a 3D printed grill guard like this. But what I wanted to share was somebody used a what's it called? A semi-gloss clear to hide the pearl flecks. So if you look closely at this car, and a lot of the cars that we have, it has a kind of shine to it, which is made of these little pearl flecks in the body. And you can use a certain, certain semi-gloss clear, I just call it a semi-gloss clear, to make the color more kind of single tone, more flat, and a little bit brighter, I think. And I'm just telling you this because I thought it looked really cool the way that he did it. So something you might consider. We have other cars that are also shiny with pearl fleck kind of paint jobs. They look fantastic the way they are, but you can also use something like that if you want to have a flatter red color, and maybe a more old school red color. Okay, we have There's one more thing that I'd love to share with you. It's a customer that I spoke to on the phone, a lovely guy. I'm not sure if you're watching, but yeah, nice conversation we had the other day. And he was talking about his experiments with shocks. So I'll quickly share. Where are they? We have the Brushless aluminium oil-filled shocks here. And he was experimenting on the Smasher. And you can maybe zoom in a little bit. So these are the shocks. You feel them, you open them up and you fill them with a bit of oil to give it a little bit more dampening as it, when it goes over rocks, or if it lands, then you want it to be a bit softer, not so springy. So you put a little bit of oil in there. Now, what he said that he's been doing is, for his Smasher, he turned the shocks upside down. And he found that this, for him, gave him the performance that he wanted from the shocks. And the reason why he's been mounting them upside down is because, so if you look at it here, you see the shaft will go into here and then compress the oil. He says that when you have it this way, the oil, if it's filled halfway, the oil will be at the bottom here. And when you first start to compress, it's slow. But then as it goes through to the other side, it speeds up and becomes more springy on the other side. And he found that at the point where you most want to have dampening is at the end of the journey rather than at the beginning. And so when he put them upside down, and he believes that by doing that, the first part of the journey will be quite springy, and then the second part will have the dampening. And I just found that fascinating because I never heard of people doing that before. What do you guys think of that idea? I would, first of all, I'd just like to say that it's a great thing to just play around with these things and see what the difference is, So to actually just experiment and see what it's like is always a great idea. I'm not sure how it would affect the performance, but what do you guys know about that? And share what you think in the comments. You can go back. And let's see. What's the chance of more brass parts from Brushless so we don't have to go to other sources? Zumad, let us know what brass parts you want and we will make them. I was so disappointed when this truck, this was the limited edition flatbed, was no longer available. I'm sorry about that too, DC Fertig. I haven't caught one of these in a while. Hope everyone's doing well, says Michael Westervelt. Nice to see you. Okay. Interesting idea, says Larry's Big Ass Gas Garage. Mount them upside down in case they leak. I mount them upside down in case they leak. Okay, that's another good reason. It works on some rigs well. I think it really depends on what kind of performance that you're looking for. And it may be different for different types of cars as well. But it's such an interesting idea, I think. Do it a lot on crawlers. Helps keep the car planted, says Cedar Creek. People have been turning shocks upside down for years. Depends on your overall setup and what you want the rig to do. That's cool. That's cool. Air would always be at the top of the stroke. That way the piston is always pushing through the oil, more consistent, says Zumad. Interesting. So let's go to the next part. Let me just check. We've only got 43 likes, guys. If we don't get to 75, then we won't be having a giveaway, I'm afraid. So bad news on that. But please do click like if you are, if you haven't done already. We do appreciate you being here. I know there's only 62 people here at the moment, which is a bit low compared to usual. But yeah, that's the deal. If you're here, please do click like. Okay. All right. So we have two different cars. I'll quickly give you some background. A long time ago, Easy RC came up with a few different cars that are still quite popular today. And they're popular not because they are like top technology or, very, what's the word? It's not because they are very high-tech cars with a great performance, but they're good because they're cheap, they're easy, good for beginners, and they also look really nice. They have great bodies and things like that. So we have three different ones that I'm going to talk to you about today, because a lot of people in our community have been sharing their projects with these cars and been doing a lot of really cool stuff. So first of all, we have the Easy RC Thunderstorm. Okay, you may have had the older version of this, which was it's called the Firehorse, and I think that was actually through Rock Hobby, but this one's very, very similar to that, slightly upgraded. Okay, so you can see it's got that Jeep look, that angry grille, and so on. We have the Easy RC Bronx. Okay, so obviously based on the Bronco. Okay, and we have another one which is called the Arizona. The Arizona is only $49.99, so it's a great price, but we don't have it available in our office here, so I can't show it to you. But these are very cool cars because, but the problem is that they don't come with upgrades. There's not a lot of upgrades that you can do with them. So we've had a few questions, and there's been people running their projects and sharing what they've been doing on our community page on Facebook. And I'd like to just share some of that with you now. The first point was there was a question that was asked, which was, what's the difference between the Arizona, which is a Jeep, and the Thunderstorm, which is also a Jeep? Yeah, I say Jeep, I mean that they look like Jeeps. They are not officially licensed cars. So I'll just quickly do a comparison for you guys and let you know some of the differences between them. So the first one is that the Arizona is $49.99 and the Thunderstorm is $69.99. Both of them are excellent prices. There's a reason why this one's higher priced, but we'll get to that in a minute. One of the key differences between the two cars is the material of the body. The Arizona car has a very simulation, realistic hard shell body, whereas this one is still very good, very detailed, but this is an ABS plastic. So this one has slightly less detail, is a little bit softer than the hard shell plastic of the Arizona. And another difference is the Arizona doesn't come with an interior, whereas the Thunderstorm, you can see inside the windows, has a very nice interior with seats, has a steering wheel and dashboard. I can't quite get there in a good angle, but yeah, it has this interior which gives it a bit more realism. And this interior can be taken out for your projects. The Bronx also has a pretty nice interior as well. Yeah. The Arizona comes with blacked out windows, so you don't need to see that there's no interior inside. It hides that quite nicely, but that's one of the differences. Another difference is full lights, and so the Arizona has full lights and turn signals, so you can toggle through the light settings, which is pretty cool for a car with that's at that price. And the Thunderstorm, it only has front and rear lights. Okay, I'm not sure about the Bronx because I didn't check that. But these lights, I think they come on as soon as you turn the car on, and they stay on for the Thunderstorm. The chassis is the same, basically exactly the same chassis. So if you've got stuff that works for one car, then it will also work for the other car, but you can't exchange the bodies. The bodies are interchangeable, not interchangeable, because they have screws in the different places, basically. Also, the front part, the grille, is designed differently, so it doesn't quite mount. They don't switch over. And I think that the biggest difference really is that the Arizona comes with more basic electronics, whereas the electronics for the Thunderstorm is same as what you'd get for the FCX24. It's a 2.4 gigahertz FlySky transmitter, that's G3, and receiver R3A. So it's got better electronics in the Thunderstorm, and that helps it to run a lot better. Yeah, these are cool cars, especially for the price. So a lot of people pick them up because of that, and also because of the mystery box that we run. So sometimes people get these from a mystery box and maybe realize that they don't quite perform as good as the FCX24s and things like that. And so some of the more passionate hobbyists amongst you have taken that as a challenge and decided, look, I'm going to try my best to make this work as well as possible. And that's a really big challenge, because we don't sell immediately available upgrade parts for these cars. Brushless was not even around when these cars came out. So these cars don't have upgrades that are just, you can just search for them. You need to find parts that are made for other cars but will also fit these cars. But people have been doing some really cool projects on these cars, which you can check on our community, and just looking at what they can do. So I'll quickly run through what people have found. So first thing that you can change is the wheels and tires. So these are plastic wheels, and I believe that they are 1.0s. It looks like 1.0s, and very small scale looking tires. So one thing that you can change, you can see here we've changed this one. This is the Mud Pro X tires. These are 60 millimeters. Now they're not perfect. They're not a perfect fit. So if we see how it performs under articulation, you can see that it does rub a little bit on the body, even 60 millimeter tires. So this is something you need to be aware of. If you want to upgrade your tires and get bigger tires, then you're going to need to probably do some trimming around the edges to make sure there's no interference with the body. But yeah, a lot of people have been running bigger tires, 1.0 wheels. These of course come with wheel weights as well, so that adds to the performance of the car, gives it a lower center of gravity. I saw somebody has put in 68 millimeter tires on these guys, which is quite astonishing. Considering that the 60 mm already, you can see the interference is there. So one way that you can do that, I know for sure that somebody on our community has added portal axles from the LC80. FCX18 has added these portal axles for their Thunderstorm, which gives it a little bit more height and therefore can give you a little bit more space to have bigger tires. So that's one thing people have been doing. You can also find shocks and links that fit, but generally you have to go to like aftermarket parts for the axial and Traxxas maybe. I think the servo somebody used the servo for Traxxas for the TRX4M. There's also you can change the transmission gearing with the TRX4M to give it a little bit more, just a little bit more power and durability for the servo, the motor, the transmission, and things like that. So this is what people have been doing, and it's pretty cool to see you guys making these work and making them yours. That's what the hobby is all about. If you get a car that's perfect from out the box, then there's nothing much you can do with it, and so you don't get that project that maybe was quite a lot of fun in the old days to work on. Don't say the T word, says GSG. Anything else I missed? I think those were the key points, yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to one or two more questions you guys had. One of them was, did I get screwed? No, we don't do that. We don't try to screw people, and FMS obviously don't do that either. Did I get screwed? The Smasher high-speed motor looks exactly the same as the original stock motor. Let me show you the differences between the two. So here I have the Smasher, and we've installed the Smasher with the high-speed motor from FMS, which gives it more kick. And we have, where did I put the other one? Behind me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so we have this one. This is a mod that we've got, which is installed with the stock motor. So first of all, I just show you what the guy was talking about. Okay, so the Smasher here has the stock motor. It's a bit dark. Maybe if I hold it a bit further back, you can zoom in more, or can you zoom in a bit more? No, in. Okay, I'll just hold it closer. It's a bit dark. But basically, you can see it says Power Dash RS S130 motor. Okay. And yeah, it's a bit more light. Okay. And then here, this is the high-speed motor, and they look the same. So you can see what the confusion is. You get the high-speed motor, you'd expect it to look a bit different. But the fact is that actually it is different when you get it working. So I'll just show you that once it's all set up. Let me just keep the bodies off for simplicity. And okay, I need to make sure I use the correct ones, correct transmitters. Okay, I'm not sure which transmitter I've got. I think I can just bind them anyway. So let's see what happens when I try this one. Okay, I'm gonna try it with the stock motor first, and then we can compare. Oh, something. There we go. And so the on button is underneath at the front. It lights up. Let's see if this one works. Nope, I need to bind it. Let's see if that works. Looks like it works. Okay, so we're gonna, it's got 2 speeds. This is first gear. This is second gear. Let's give it a quick table run. Okay. I don't need to give it a ramp. Okay. There you go. Give it a bit of a bash. All right, let's try now the other one with the high-speed motor. Okay, so let's that one just headed off by itself. Okay, so you can see the difference, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool. The high-speed motor gives it that extra kick. You can take it over ramps and things like that. You can. We don't have any table ramps, unfortunately, right here. Backwards. Okay, but you can see what I mean. That one gives it a lot more kick, and that's with the. It's got its rear wheels have turned. Oh, it is actually set backwards. Yeah. Okay, it's going backwards. Let me try that again. I can nearly get it to do a flip on the table. That's quite cool. So with the high-speed motor, you get a lot more fun out of it. It's very cheap. It's like $12.99 for the motor or something like that. And then you get also a little heat sink, which you can put on just to give you more kick. But just to show you, that's the, it looks like a stock motor, but actually it's not. All right, let's turn it off before I cause injury. All right. And yeah, that's the main things I wanted to share with you today. But there's a couple of more questions, a couple of other questions. One was, is the Smasher a good choice for a 5-year-old girl? What do you guys think? I think that if you monitor your children, then it's perfect. It's perfect speed. So you're not going to cause too much damage with it. But just make sure that your kid's not like sitting on it or dropping it from a great height or something silly like that, and then you'll be fine. I think that a girl would love to play with a Smasher. Most kids really like this. Get a ramp or something like that, and see if they can make some jumps. Let's get to the comments and see what you guys are talking about here. LMAO, that was fast. Low, definitely needs a send it ramp, Granny. Nice flip. Switch the transmitter, that's really peppy, love it. How do I mount the 3D printed front bumper that came with the tricolor LC80? Looks to need a different mount. No, it should be, you just use the same holes and it has the screws, so you just need to switch it over. If you found that there's something missing, send us a photo to support and we'll sort you out. Okay, you need one of these live shows in 3D, says Terrain Tamer. My 3 and 6-year-old boys, wide, I'm not sure what wide means, wide them in both high and low speed. I'm not sure, I think it's a typo, and are quite good. Ride, okay, ride. Yeah, I hope you don't mean actually ride on them, because that will not be good. But yeah. Okay, another question. Last question, I think. This is one that we get asked quite a lot, so I just wanted to answer it. We did have some other questions, but it's kind of getting to the hour now. And we have a mod, this is our K5 black mod. And the question always is, what's the difference between this mod and the original black K5 mod? You know, normally we will repaint them, we will have upgrade parts or change something. The answer for this one is simply that this version is a cheaper version that you can buy that does not have the chrome stripe on it. Everything else is the same. Okay, so this is something you can buy only at Fair RC. Fair RC sells it for $99.99, so that's a good like $20 or $30 savings, which is fantastic. So if you're looking to pick up a K5 and you're happy with black, then this is the way to go. $99.99 for basically exactly the same as the normal K5s. Okay, just without that chrome stripe along the side. No other differences. So yeah, that's cool. Another thing, just quickly, I'd like to show you before we finish is we have a really cool sale on at the moment for the FCX10 K5. I won't go through all the features of this car, but it's got a lot of features. Four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, dig. It's got 2-speed transmission. Very, very cool. This one has been upgraded on this side with our new wheels, which look awesome on the car, but normally they come like this. Yeah, these also have our precipice tires on this side. But normally it's like this, and you can get this now at Fair RC for $299.99. So that's $100 savings for this car, and I suggest you get it as soon as possible. So yeah, fantastic fun to drive. If you haven't got a K5 already, this is definitely the best value one that you're going to get. This also comes with light features. It's got a magnet connection, so you can just put the body on and the lights will work immediately. Take the body off, there's no wiring or anything like that. And it's got, I believe these ones, no, these don't light up, I don't think so. But these ones have full lights at the front and at the back. Very cool car, $299.99. So that's my sales pitch for today. All right, guys, we had more questions and stuff, but we are reaching the hour mark. We've got 62 likes. I'm going to give you, I'm going to do one giveaway. Okay, so we're going to do one discount code. We'll do a countdown. Okay, just to thank everybody who's here. Really appreciate your support. You're fantastic. And we'll do a countdown, and whoever wins will get $15 discount code. Okay, so for this one, let's choose. Somebody asked, is it 3S? The 5? It's not 3S, but I believe it's 3S capable. Okay, so let's do a keyword. I'm trying to think what word we can use. Let's just say Fair RC. Okay, I'd like you to write Fair RC, Fairrc. Okay, you don't need to have a space. Okay, Fairrc. You can have a space or no space, doesn't matter. Okay, type it in. I'll count down from 10, and then when we reach 1, I'll take a screenshot. Whoever is at the top of the screen when I take the screenshot will win the discount code. This is one discount code for one winner, $15. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Screenshot. Okay, and we have a winner. Okay, the winner is Dangerous Fat. Dangerous Fat, congratulations, you are the winner. Okay, $15. So all you need to do to claim that is go to support@fairrc.com and tell us you won, and we'll set you up with a discount code. Congratulations, and thank you very much, everybody, for joining. You are fantastic, and see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.